let's all just get comfortable where we are. Everybody in your space. Maybe it's the same space you find yourself in every time we are together. Maybe you are in a different space tonight, but wherever you are, let's just get comfortable. And once you get comfortable, let's just allow the eyes to close and allow the breath to become steady. And no matter what kind of breath we've had today and whatever busyness we've been through for these few minutes that we have, let's just breathe in and out, slow and steady. And as you're beginning to breathe and pay attention to it, just notice the physical effect that it has on your body as you pay attention to your breath. It is the greatest tool we have in our toolbox. We take it with us everywhere we go. It is the one thing that we truly have control over when it comes to all the body systems. And as you focus on your breath, just notice what's the anxiousness level of your heart and your spirit? What's the clutter level of your mind? What's the tired level of your body? And it's not that there's a certain level that you're looking for. It is just about being aware. How do you feel in this moment? And then accept it. This is how I feel right now, today. And I showed up. And so what we're going through across the next couple of weeks and the last couple of weeks that have already passed is we're taking this journey during our meditation time through some different foundations of what yoga is. We know that yoga comes to us as this framework for life, and meditation's a part of that. But there's also some moral disciplines that yoga gives us. And it helps you to see that it is so much more than just physical things that we do on a mat. There's a concept that we'll talk about in these few minutes that we have tonight called ASTEYA. And if you translate the word ASTEYA into English, the very root of it means not stealing. And I said the other day when I first introduced this term, that's one of those that we can all just check off and be confident that we've got this one. We've got this moral idea inside of us, and we don't take things that don't belong to us. But I want to shift and ask you to look at this idea of ASTEYA, or not stealing, a little bit differently today. So as you sit and you breathe with your eyes gently closed, I would invite you to picture the most important people in your circle. They could be people in your home or not. They could be related to you or not. But who are the people or the person that is most important to you? The ones that you care about above all other people. And as you begin to see that face or those few faces, just think to yourself in these next couple of breaths, what brings them joy? Chances are you know them well, and you know the things that just light up their face and brighten the light in their heart and make them smile no matter what. What are the things that bring those people that you love and care about so much? What brings them joy? And as you see whatever those things are, I want to ask you, would you be willing to do whatever it took in life to lessen the stress and the disappointment and the frustration from their lives so they could live in this space of joy, authentic joy every single day? And I know that question is almost rhetorical because of course your answer is yes. They are your people. They're the ones that you see their faces above all others. And you would do anything in your power to maybe lessen or even prevent the stress and the disappointment and the frustration that sometimes come in and rob them of their joy. You want to remove the barriers. You want to put things in place to keep them safe so they can wake up every day and experience joy. So then I want to ask you, what brings joy to your heart? What lights up your face? What brings this light to your spirit? What brings you joy? And oftentimes it's easier to think about the joy of others than to actually pause and think about our own, because we don't often pay attention to that. But we're quick to think about it for others. So I want to ask you one more time, as you are sitting there, comfortable, grounded, with your eyes gently closed and your breath steady, what brings you joy? And when was the last time you felt it? I hope, beyond all hope, that it was today. But I also know that in the reality of it, chances are some of us have not experienced joy today. And even some of us haven't experienced joy in a while. So I want to ask you the same question about yourself that I asked you about your people. Wouldn't you do anything that you could within your power to lessen the stress and the frustration and the disappointment from your own life and your own path so you can experience joy every day? And again, it sounds almost rhetorical, because of course you would, but I know that there's this little nagging voice in our heads that says that all sounds well and good, but you don't understand the stress that I'm going through, or you don't understand the things that I have to navigate and deal with. We started our practice tonight with our breath, and I told you it's the best tool you've got in your toolbox. Because the same stress that comes into the path of the people that you love, it's no different than the stress that comes into your path. It just wears a different face and has a different name. But the power to lessen its effect so it does not have the ability to rob you of joy, that power is within you. And again, I know me saying that causes just a little bit of doubt and question in your mind. But the power resides in the breath. And so this idea of ASTEYA, of not stealing, not robbing, I want to ask each of us, including myself, when are you going to stop letting the stress of life in 2023 rob you, steal from you, your joy? Y'all, joy is one of those things that is permanent, and stress and the stuff of life is impermanent. But we tend to get them backward. I know you are walking, some of you paths right now, where you feel like the stress and the tension and the stuff is really permanent and you can't see an end to it. But what happens is our world gets so loud and so busy and so cluttered that we get it backward. And we start to see things that are impermanent as actually permanent in our lives, and they are not. Joy is permanent. It comes from something inside of you. Stress are these external circumstances around you, and they do not last. Some stay longer than others, but they do not last. So this idea of ASTEYA, this non-stealing mental, moral precept of yoga, it asks us, when are you going to stop allowing stress and the circumstances of the world robbing you from your joy? Stealing from you the ability to feel joy every single day. And I want to encourage you tonight and tell you that I walk a stressful path just like you do. I have circumstances and people that are not kind in my path daily. I have disappointments. I have moments when I worry. But I can also tell you that every day, for a very long time in my life now, when I go to bed, I know I had more moments of joy than not. That's what we're working toward in this meditation practice, where we can begin to set the stress and the stuff aside and focus on the present moment, because stress lives in the past and in the future. It doesn't live in the present moment. That's where you reside with your breath, your tool, your anchor, to not let the stress and the stuff of life rob you of your joy. I know it's a tall order, and it's a lot easier to think about non-stealing when it comes to things in the grocery store that you're not going to put in your pocket. But it's the same concept. As much as you'd never pick up something that didn't belong to you and take it home, shouldn't we also live in a way that says we're not going to let the stress of this life that we live steal joy from us? So what I'd like us to do across these next couple of minutes of quiet is let's just sit in this present moment. Don't feel guilty or frustrated or disappointed in yourself, because maybe it has been a long time since you felt joy. But let this moment be a reset. And it doesn't mean you're going to walk around life with these rose-colored glasses and not deal with the stuff that you need to deal with. It just means that you keep it outside of you. External circumstances stay external. They don't creep in and cloud and rob us of our joy. So keep your eyes focused as they are closed on the things that bring you joy, the things that maybe you miss having in your life. And it doesn't have to be big things. It doesn't have to cost you money. I can tell you my joy comes every morning with my coffee after my yoga practice, sitting outside and hearing the birds. That is not everyone's thing, and I understand that, but that brings me a kind of joy that I can't even describe with words. I feel like they've invited me to be part of their song, part of their waking up, part of their bringing the world to life each morning, and I get to be a witness to it. So as we sit here for these next couple of minutes of just being quiet in our space, as I picture my mornings with my hot cup of delicious coffee and these birds just singing, picture your thing. Picture it and let it be imprinted on your mind, constantly reminding yourself of the thing or the things that bring you joy. Just allow your focus to come back to the space that we're sharing together. And I want to give you an example of exactly how I kept the stress external today and I found my moment of joy. I'd already started my day this morning. I'd already listened to the birds. I'd already had my cup of coffee, and my day began with joy. And then it got really busy. And I had a colleague who was doing things that were making my job difficult. Maybe it was intentional, maybe it was not. But either way, it was happening and my day became difficult. And I know from what I've learned in the path that I've walked that I had two choices. I let those difficult moments continue to just nag at my heart and at my mind and feel my stress begin to rise. Or I do something about it. Not about the person, and what they were doing. But I turned off my computer for about 20 minutes, and I stepped away from my desk, and I went out and I watered my garden. And again, that may not be your thing, but that is a place where I feel joy. And as I stood there in the heat of this afternoon, with all the stuff of work just waiting for me to come back, I stood there and I watered, and I saw that my snap peas that were flowers just a few days ago now are about 3-inch long little green peas. And that sounds like the most tiny, inconsequential thing, but it reminded me of growth. That only a few weeks ago I had these vines climbing up this trellis, and then a week or so ago I had these little white flowers, and then today I had a vegetable. And it was this sign for me in that moment that if I will just be patient, growth is coming on its own timetable. I cannot rush it. But I chose to get up from my computer today, and I chose to stop letting the stress eat away with me and go find my reminder of joy. It's going to look different for each one of us, but I had to be intentional about closing the computer and getting up. So tomorrow, because the stress will come, tomorrow when it comes for you, what intentional thing will you do to protect the joy that you just saw and imprinted on your mind tonight? Let that be how we go throughout our day tomorrow. ASTEYA. Don't let anything rob you of the joy that is yours. Namaste.